What happened to the coup that took place in Gabon? Was it real? Was it hijacked? Today, I'm going to delve deep into the details of the Gabon coup. And slowly by slowly, we are starting to see that the coup is actually the biggest fraud that has ever happened in the name of a coup. And I don't know who's playing who, but we are seeing indication that this is a mockery of what a coup should be. And I'm not talking about violence and bloodshed. Knowing how a coup is mostly dangerous because the police in Gabon could have decided to fight the army. So it's a dangerous move. Knowing how dangerous it is, there are some expectations. For example, people expect removal of that bad regime and change. People expect change. After the news of the coup in Gabon, we saw the announcement from the junior officers saying that they have ended the Bongo regime. That's what they said. They have also cancelled or taken power because of a fraud election, because of, rigged election. So people expected change after that. And that's why a lot of people from Gabon poured into the streets and they were basically celebrating all over the place, saying that the Bongo regime has come to an end. And as people celebrated across the African continent, the military junta fronted their military leader, the one they have chosen. And voila, we were presented with General Brice Nguema from the Bongo family, a cousin to the ousted president. And that was the first red flag that this coup may not be a normal coup. It looked hijacked. This Brice Nguema was the general or the leader of the Republican Guard, the soldiers that are supposed to protect the president. He was also the former bodyguard of the president. And on top of that, he's a family member to the president's family, and definitely he got promoted through favoritism. That happens. But all those are speculations, right? And let's assume he's a patriot and he means what he's standing for, right? But look at his actions. And I'm not going to refer to the fact that he gave freedom to the president and his family to move around and go to wherever they want. In any case, they never committed any crime unless it's investigated. Look at the actions. For example, yesterday, he summoned the cabinet and government officials of the previous government, basically. And during that conference, he indicated that he's going to work with them. I'm not an expert in governance, but that's not how it works. That's not how it works, because he should be telling them to prepare to hand over to a caretaker cabinet or a caretaker administration. That's how you make change. Retaining them, that is not change. That is not removal of a regime. And it's not the reason that people in Gabon poured into the streets to celebrate the regime removal or a removal of a regime. The other thing I saw him do today is that he met with the president of the Gabon's Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court in Gabon. And they were discussing how prepared the judicial service is. And this is the court that was supposed to hear any electoral petition, especially in the case of the disputed election. Now, you may be wondering, what's the problem here? The issue here is that the president of the Supreme Court in Gabon is a family member or another family member of the Bongo family. Her name is Marie-Madeleine Borucho. She was one of the most beautiful women in the 80s. She was a Miss Gabon. And later on, in the 90s, early 90s, she became the president's lover, Omar Bongo. He had many wives, and one of them was this president of the Supreme Court. And the court was formed in 1991, and she became the president of that court at the time. And she has been the president of that court ever since. She's 67. So for more than 30 years, she has been the president of Gabon's Supreme Court. And this is the court that was supposed to hear any petition. And the president of that court is a family member to the Bongo family. She considers the ousted president a stepson. So that is the issue I have. So in this coup, it's like the Bongo family had a committee and they decided that they needed to transfer power to another Bongo family member through a form of a coup, because the ousted president was not fit to hold office. He suffered from stroke. Remember, he can't walk properly. Sometimes he finds difficulty speaking. And I think it is a coup that was done by the Bongo family to hand power or to extend the Bongo family's rule in that country. Because as you can see, almost every important position in government is held by either a cousin, an uncle, basically a family member of the Bongo family.